everyone, and welcome to LawSikho's thorough newspaper analysis for the 26th of July, 2023. Now, today we have one editorial article which is titled Child Law and Consensual Sex. For the second and the third update of today, we have the news update and the legal news. Now, with respect to child law and consensual sex, it talks about POCSO and what happens if an individual had a sexual relationship with a child as defined under POCSO, but the said sex was consensual. Now, in the last 1 month, at least three high courts have quashed charges against individuals who were accused under the Protection of Children from Sexual Offences or the POCSO Act. Now, this act was enacted in 2012. One of the high courts released the accused on bail on grounds that the accused and victim had a consensual sex. Regarding the two other quashings, it was also of a similar nature. Now, when we talk of consensual sex in this particular case, because as we know that the victim here is a child, and yet we are saying that it is a consensual sex. So in this case, we need to define what consent is, especially under POCSO. Now, a child under POCSO is defined as any person below the age of 18 years. And acts of penetrative sexual assault on children, which is a child defined under POCSO, are criminal offenses under the provisions of POCSO. And the same is irrespective of whether they had consented to the sexual relationship or if it was a forced rape. In any case, irrespective of the consent, acts of penetrative sexual assault or aggravated sexual assault will always be considered rape. Now, this is akin to the Scheduled Castes and Scheduled Tribes Prevention of Atrocities Act 1989, wherein we see that if certain prohibited acts are committed with the knowledge of the caste of the victim, the intention for the same does not have to be proved separately. However, this is what the law has to say. And of late, we have seen that the high courts and even the Supreme Court in one or two cases have come forward and mentioned that it seems like there are certain underaged individuals who had consented to having physical relationships. And based on this, the person who was an adult had to suffer the consequences of POCSO. And as we know, the charges under POCSO, the punishment for the same are very harsh. So, what are we supposed to do with it? Or what can the parliament do about it? Now, the question arises firstly that if all consensual offenses can be quashed by the judiciary, as has been quashed in these particular three cases which were registered under POCSO, won't these be diluting the provisions of POCSO? Secondly, this is dire because if we do remove the stipulations of POCSO, the only provisions which remain is Section 90 of the Indian Penal Code. And under this particular provision, consents of children even less than 12 years old could be considered. This opens a floodgates, the very floodgates which POCSO was brought in to ensure that it did not happen. The courts have been expressing their reluctance against POCSO in particular cases of consensual sex because of the harsh punishments. 10 years of imprisonment in case of a penetrative sexual assault and 20 years of imprisonment in cases of aggravated penetrative sexual assault. Now, the Honorable Supreme Court must step in to resolve the gap between the laid down law based on which the agencies work, the police work, and the different interpretations that the high courts are coming up with. Now, this acquires utmost significance in light of the Supreme Court judgment in Independent Thought versus the Union of India, which is a 2017 judgment, wherein it was held that even sexual intercourse with a minor wife is rape. Now, with this, we move on to the news updates for the day. Firstly, we have PFC becomes first member from India to join Asia Transition Finance Study Group. Power Finance Corporation Limited has achieved a milestone by becoming the first Indian participant in the Asia Transition Finance Study Group, an initiative spearheaded by the Japanese Ministry of Economy, Trade and Industry to promote sustainable transition finance in Asian countries. By becoming a part of this initiative, PFC will not only contribute to India's perspective, but also collaborate on devising policy considerations to facilitate efficient energy transition financing. Secondly, we have Chhattisgarh Government signs agreement with Tata Technologies. The Chhattisgarh Government has signed the Memorandum of Understanding worth 1,188.36 crores with Tata Technologies to transform 36 government ITIs into an Industry 4.0 technological hub. The MOU was signed between the State's Department of Technical Education and Skill Development and Tata Technologies in the presence of the Chief Minister, Mr. Bhupesh Baghel. The collaboration will offer 6 new trades and 23 new short term courses in 36 ITIs with state of the art technical workshops and trainer arrangements. Thirdly, we have junior shooting worlds Kamaljeet bags 2 golds. Young shooter Kamaljeet helped India win 2 more gold medals on the final day of the International Shooting Sport Federation Junior World Championships in Changwon, Korea. The 19-year-old won both the men's 50-meter pistol individual and team events. India's campaign in this World Cup ended second in the table with 17 medals, 6 gold, 6 silver, and 5 bronze. China topped the medal tally with 12 medals, including 28 gold. Next up, we have Naveen Patnaik becomes the second longest serving CM in Indian history. Odisha's Naveen Patnaik on Saturday became the second longest serving chief minister in the country, replacing West Bengal's Jyoti Basu. Former Sikkim Chief Minister Pawan Kumar Chamling still holds the record for being the longest serving chief minister in the country. He was the CM of the Himalayan state from December 12, 1994 till May 27, 2019, more than 24 years. Pattanaik, the five-time Chief Minister of Orissa, took charge on 5th of March 2000 and holds the post for 23 years and 138 days. We also have veteran Marathi actor Jayant Savarkar passes away. Veteran Marathi actor Jayant Savarkar, known for his work in Marathi and Hindi cinema and theatre, passed away due to age-related issues at a hospital in Thane. He was 87 at the time of passing. For more than 4 decades, Savarkar established his dominance in the Marathi film industry. He played various characters that would appeal to everyone from children to adults. Savarkar also worked on platforms like Marathi drama, cinema, serials, and OTT. Now, for the international news segment of the day, we have firstly, Israeli parliament clears a bill to curtail Supreme Court powers. In an alarming incident, Israel's parliament ratified the first bill of a judicial overhaul sorted by Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu after last gasp compromise efforts collapsed and failed to ease a constitutional crisis convulsing the country for months. The amendment is part of a broader judicial change the government announced in January, soon after it was sworn in, which it says are needed to push back what it describes as an overreach by the Supreme Court. Secondly, we have Thani Al Zeyoudi elected as the chair of World Trade Organization's 13th Ministerial Conference. The announcement was made during the WTO General Council in Geneva, where Dr. Al Zeyoudi met with the WTO Director General, Mr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala. The conference will be attended by representatives from the 164 countries and customs blocks that make up the WTO. It will review the performance of the trading system, make decisions on the future work, and set up the roadmap for the next conference, an official statement said on the 24th of July 2023. Thirdly, we have Twitter replaces the iconic bird logo with X. Elon Musk owned Twitter launched its new logo, X, in a major rebrand initiative which replaced the iconic bluebird symbol. The logo, which is a white X seen on a black background, was seen on the network's site and accounts, evoking mixed reactions and an ocean of memes from the netizens. Twitter had announced a $8 monthly fee for accounts in November to keep their verified status intact on the microblogging site, and this is the next change after Elon Musk took over. Thirdly, ancient portal to the underworld discovered in Israel. The Theomim cave is located southwest of Jerusalem and has been the subject of an archaeological dig. Archaeologists have analyzed artifacts from Theomim cave in the Jerusalem hills, including oil lamps, axes, and even 3 human skulls. Now, about 2000 years ago, the objects in the cave were set up by a cult members during attempts to summon the dead, which is better known as necromancy. It follows the discovery of 11,000-year-old human remains in a cave in Cumbria, believed to belong to a man who reoccupied Britain after the last ice age. And finally, we have World Embryologist Day on the 25th of July. World Embryologist Day 2023 is the day when embryologists are recognized as medical professionals who study and examine sperm, eggs, and embryos. They are the ones who determine which sperm and eggs are healthy for fertilization through the IVF treatment. Every year, World Embryologist Day is celebrated on the 25th of July to observe the work and the contributions of the embryologists in the medical field. Now, for the legal updates of today, firstly, we have bail conditions imposed by courts must be realistic considering socio-economic background of the accused. Now, the Honorable Supreme Court, in the case of in re policy strategy for grant of bail, indicated that courts should impose realistic conditions of bail, considering the economic and social position of the under trial prisons, or else the act of grant of bail does not subserve its purpose. A bench comprising Justice S.K. Kaul and Justice Sudhanshu Dhulia observed the same while hearing a suo motu writ petition instituted for the purposes of issuing a comprehensive policy strategy for grant of bail. Secondly, we have voter has right to know full background of a candidate. Right to vote based on informed choice crucial to democracy. Now, the Honorable Supreme Court, in the case of Bhimrao Bashwantrao Patel versus K. Madan Mohan Rao and others, observed that the democracy being an essential feature of the Constitution and the right to vote being a statutory right, the voter has the right to know about the full background of a candidate. The Apex Court also observed that while democracy is an essential feature of the Constitution, paradoxically, the right to vote is yet to be recognized as a fundamental right. So this was all for today. For pre-study materials in TNA PDF slides, please join our Telegram channel, the link of which you can find in the description given below, or you can always scan the barcode that is given on your screen. You can also subscribe us on our YouTube channel to stay up to date with the current affairs that comes out in the form of thorough newspaper analysis every single day. Also, do not forget to perform the quiz, which is there in the description of this particular YouTube video. The quiz will be focused on yesterday's PNA or the thorough newspaper analysis, and every day the quiz that we roll out is focused on the previous day's thorough newspaper analysis and serves as a pop quiz for your preparation. Thank you.